Hi, Bernth here. Welcome to episode 13 of my weekly guitar Q&A series. This week I want to show you some more advanced sweep picking exercises and talk a bit about some popular questions I got recently. Since sweep picking is quite an important topic for you guys, I will show you more exercises today. Not everybody is a fan of the technique, as I've read in the comments for some of my videos. The technique is overused for some players and they don't like the music where sweeping is present the most. I absolutely understand most of these views and it can get too technical. We always want to work with emotion and feeling as guitar players. But learning this technique is absolutely essential for a working guitar player. I often need it for studio or live jobs and would be missing out on a lot of cool gigs if my technique was not at this level. Most negative comments also usually come from players that have not mastered their technique yet and maybe they are frustrated with the topic. That's why I want to show you some helpful tips. That doesn't mean that you should add sweep picking sections to every solo or song you write. It's just another great skill that will come in very handy in your career. In the last video about sweep picking, we checked out the basic minor arpeggio shape. We only play 3 notes in different octaves here: the root note, minor third and fifth. All the notes we have in a basic minor chord. I will play it for you again. The practical examples today are in the key of G minor. So far so good. If you have trouble playing this arpeggio shape, check out episode 2 for tips concerning the basic technique. When you spend enough time getting familiar with the sweeping motion of the pick, you should work on the most difficult aspect of sweep picking, turning the direction of your sweep. This is the frustrating part. As soon as you're able to sweep up and down the full arpeggio, you will realize that it's quite hard to break it up into different parts. But that's exactly where it starts to get creative. You have a lot of possibilities to write very cool licks this way. Since most players don't have absolute freedom over their picking hand in this context, they just sweep up and down the full arpeggio as fast as they can all the time. Here's an example of that, probably a section in a solo that the guys with negative thoughts about sweep picking would hate. While it does sound nice and fluid, it's really not that interesting and very predictable. You have heard stuff like this in thousands of metal songs and it gets a bit old. Today we focus on the first step of making it more interesting. What if we break the arpeggio up a bit, like this? That's just a basic example. We didn't add any interesting notes or played around with different modes, but I think you understand where I'm going with it. By creating interesting patterns like that, you sound much more original. But it's also harder. The switching of the sweeping direction is something you really need to work on. I put a lot of time into that and still work on the synchronizing of my hands when I play fast sections like that one. Practice this lick to a metronome to work on that. Here's another advanced example. Always think about your up and down strokes. They are not placed in a random way. I spend a lot of time thinking about how to position them. Usually I start sweeping in the other direction when a new section of the arpeggio starts. Since I'm working with hammer-ons and pull-offs, that sometimes changes a bit. See what works best for you and always try alternative approaches concerning that. I have a lot of students that are stuck with some of these licks. As soon as we turned around the picking in some places, they suddenly made some real progress. The next step is adding more interesting notes to the arpeggios. Always working with the basic major and minor shapes will never sound very original. But that is a topic for another video. Let me know if you want to learn more about that. To end this video, I would like to answer a question I got from quite a couple of people. They asked me if you can learn playing guitar from YouTube only. There's a lot of great free guitar content online, from videos to ebooks or websites explaining everything about music theory. So I understand the question. Why should you pay for a teacher or music school when everything you need is on the internet? My answer is still no. A teacher will be able to look at your posture, hands, and can see what you should work on more. There are a lot of great self-taught players out there, but some really hit a wall along the way and can't develop their technique further. When they finally go and see a teacher, they learn that their technique is completely wrong and that they basically have to start at the beginning again. So I really advise you to find the right teacher for your style and take lessons. A good teacher will also motivate you to work harder and will have the right exercises to help you. I built my online course 10 Steps to Modern Shredding based on all these years of teaching different students, and also offer a coaching feature in these 10 weeks, so students can send me videos of them playing and I can analyze their technique to help them progress quickly. That is truly very important for me. If you're interested in that, there will be some great news soon. I just signed the last documents this week and the course should be online very soon. That's all we have time for this week. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, leave a like on my Facebook artist page or follow my Instagram account to stay updated for more free guitar lessons. Also keep sending me questions for the Q&A videos. I love to work with them. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Thanks again for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It really helps me out a lot. Just here to tell you that my 10-week online course 10 Steps to Modern Shredding will be out very soon. We are looking at over 6 hours of lessons, over 70 pages of exercises you can download and 15 high-quality exclusive jam tracks you can work with. So it's gonna be a great deal, only available on my website. I'll keep you guys up to date. Thanks for listening and see you in the next video.